That's part of the whole movie. I have
I don't know.
With the drawing,
It looks like the Goonies.
Yes.
Guy.
Yes. Okay, I thought you were talking about the actual guy in Oregon.
No, do you know what I'm talking about? They
Vaguely.
don't. They say he drew a cartoon and Blockbuster wouldn't hold his movie, and then now he has a vendetta against Blockbuster.
Yeah, I never knew who he was. We actually had a conversation about a documentary yesterday for a later episode, and it's that when people are not, when you don't get the idea about why somebody's important to the story, like you just don't get any context. It's so confusing.
You almost had to be like an insider to know who that guy was, because I still don't know who he was.
No, I think they literally pulled him on because it was the one person to say something negative about Blockbuster.
Yeah,
because everyone was talking so highly of it, nostalgia.
And they had that little insert like, and that was 15 seconds or 15 minutes with so-and-so, and it was like a
weird.
big thing. I'm like, I don't get the joke.
It was weird.
I didn't get it either. Welcome. This is our conversation about the last Blockbuster, which when I first saw the title, I thought it was like The Last Action Hero, except it was about the last Blockbuster movie about an action hero, but that apparently was not it at all.
We started pumping iron. We have a later episode on Power Unlimited, powerlifting movie. But what I've decided, and I think Jim is on the same page, we semi-discussed it, is that fitness commentate and review them when they do come out, newer ones, and maybe we'll do older ones like Super Size Me and Super Size Me 2, 3, 4, whatever. They're kind of good. We should do those. Or High Me, Super High Me. I think they talk about that in this movie.
Yeah,
that guy
because
was
Doug
in it.
Benson is in this movie.
So we'll do some of that, but I think overall the vibe now is Meathead podcast, Meathead backgrounds. Meatheads watch movies, and we're going to review whatever the hell movie we want, and we hope that you enjoy, and we hope you come along for the journey and watch it with us. And they'll have we could tie it in. We can find transition if you guys like this is about business and evolution of business and e-com and nostalgia of a lot of things we love. We can tag it in, but fuck you, we might not, and we just talk about the movies we like.
The death of retail.
Yeah.
The death of malls, mall culture. You can't really separate, the video store from mall culture entirely. A lot of them were the same thing. Yeah.
Do you think the popularity of this movie? Because I don't have a lot of nostalgia going into Blockbuster, to be honest. I don't know if it's a chain. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know Hollywood Video?
Yeah.
I think and I don't have like a lot of heartstrings there either, but we had two very close to me right on either side of the block, and so we did both. So I didn't, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm a Coca-Cola guy versus a Pepsi guy.
In that stage of my life, I was in where not everybody will know where this is, but I was in like the Laguna side of Elk Grove. Yeah, and it was like all Blockbuster out there. Up here in Elk Grove, and in Elk Grove, there was like some Hollywood videos scattered around, mixed in with the Blockbusters. But
is Hollywood just California?
It has to be like regional for sure.
Because I don't think people talk about. Here's one.
I think it's like a Jim Boys thing. It's like kind of regional,
NorCal-ish.
Yeah,
I didn't even know Jim Boys was regional for a long time.
Neither did I.
I thought it was.
I probably found that out in the last couple years.
Same. Something I had as a kid, talking about the mom and pop video place, was called 49er Video, and I remember. Do you guys remember that?
I've seen the logo.
Was that just Sacramento?
I think that was just.
I thought it was just one of one.
The one that was that I always took you guys to. My son is here running the video for us. What was that one? Was that 49er? Okay.
It had like a 49er in a pan, and he's kind of looking to the side as a logo.
Like black and white.
Yeah, it was good. And that they referenced mom and pop videos in this thing, which I thought was funny.
5 movies for $10.
I didn't even know that.
It couldn't be any better.
See, I was a kid, so I didn't even give a fuck about pricing.
Well, as Sam can tell you, my wife worked nights starting from when he was 1, and so especially every weekend I've got to entertain 2 kids and keep them quiet. So we went to a lot of movies. We went to some parks. I'm not a big park guy. And then we watched a lot of movies.
Same.
And so we would, lay in with whatever we could come up with. And I think that I was going to get to this later, but I'm going to jump right on it right now. When you go into a video store, there was always a lot of FOMO about the new releases.
Oh, for sure.
You wanted to get the new thing, and like that was an advantage that Blockbuster had because they could get a ton of stuff. But a 49er was like deep catalog.
Yeah.
And so you go through and
niche.
pick out movies that you'd never seen before that might that might be good or might suck or whatever. But
sometimes they suck so bad they're good.
Exactly.
Right. Or you find gems
like Return of Xander Cage. If you guys haven't seen Triple X, if you guys have not seen Triple X Return of Xander Cage, it is the best worst movie you've ever seen?
I don't think I've seen the whole thing, but I
unrelated to
I've seen
Triple
parts
X.
of it.
No,
Vin
he's
Diesel?
in it. He's in it.
Oh, it's
He comes back in this one. I think it's like the third or fourth Triple X movie, and he's like full on in it. and the budget is high.
Yeah, because they
there's
did
a lot
decent.
of money in this movie.
I think the first one did decent.
so it looks like really good. And then they did like a sequel without him in it, but
without Vinny.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know. But then he's in this like third. I think it's the third installment. Might be the fourth. I don't know. But it is so damn good. Fantastic.
My childhood was similar, but like opposite. My mom was a teacher, and Dad worked all summer. And in Sacramento, it's 110 degrees.
Right.
Like it's like a public pool visit, or like I'm trying to play basketball. I'm like 4th grade or something. But even Mom's dragging me in because it's so hot. And so probably once a week we'd movie return. And I think I don't know if Dean knows. Jim definitely knows my phobia of watching old movies. I might have told you in the last thing. I couldn't watch movies like pre 2000s for a while, and it might have been caused by my mother, because in the summers she had taste, and my sister too, probably bet beyond me. We'd watch like Alfred Hitchcock and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Just black and white. It looks dumb. The stories are over my head, and so it probably added to my sickness, my disease. But yeah, literally every summer, all summer, my mom was a teacher my entire life. So from June to September or whatever, movie. That's all we fucking did.
Yeah, my parents were split up when I was pretty young. So my mom, it was when we did all the renting. Like we always went to Blockbuster. There was one right down the road. It was like going in there, looking through. So I had this weird thing as a kid too. Like I would go to the horror movie sections just to like scare myself, like looking at the covers. I would be terrified to watch any of them. I'd never I still hate horror movies. Don't like them. But I would look at the covers. I'd go in there and like kind of creep into the horror section, and like I would look at the covers and just freak myself out. It was the most bizarre thing.
I know a lot, not a lot, but I know horror movie names and cover titles for the same reason.
Yes.
I didn't like do it
like
as a
Hellraiser.
masochist like you, but I would go and I know what they look like, and I hate horrors too. But or you'd see them, or you'd see like a rated R. Whatever, I'm in 4th grade, and you see like blood on the front. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
it's
shit.
scary.
You kind of look at it.
One of the ones I remember the most, like from that time, is the Hellraiser cover, like with the needles coming out of his face.
Pinhead.
There's
I've
another
never seen
one.
The movie, though.
I don't know the movie, but there's another one similar to that. It's kind of like a butterfly moth thing, but it has eyes and like a face on it.
That sounds like
Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the
Oh,
Lambs.
maybe, but I'm a fucking kid, and it's just
Yeah.
sitting there, like, I've never seen that movie either, despite
You've never seen Silence.
I don't like horrors,
That movie's that movie's psychological horror.
Yeah, maybe I could do that. I enjoy some thriller-ish stuff, but it's just not my cup of tea. I normally really try to just relax with movies.
They made a sequel. They made a prequel movie twice. They made a sequel movie once. They made a prequel TV series once, and now they're doing. I don't know. Their Clarice is out there now, and I don't know.
That.
I don't know what the fuck that's about. I don't.
It looks like they're going back to Silence of the Lambs, because I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I think it gets to Silence of the Lambs.
Is there a show too?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It
was Hannibal.
That's what I've heard of. Yeah, obviously.
And then there's Clarice is now from the other. I just thought it was, and I don't know. We're really getting off track here, but Manhunter on Netflix. Actually, that's where the whole Silence of the Lamb thing came from.
Oh, okay.
Using a serial killer to help you figure out the movements of another serial
get
killer.
in the mind of a serial killer.
Mindhunter. Is that what I said?
Manhunter.
Oh,
Mindhunter.
Manhunter is the name of the version of Red Dragon. Yeah. Red Dragon is the book before Silence.
So there's probably spoiler alerts in these things. So we suggest you either listen to or watch the last Blockbuster, or just not care. Like these, we'll probably.
I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah, we're mostly probably going to do documentaries. The world says Netflix killed Blockbuster. In this movie, I feel like they make such an adamant point to prove that wrong.
Yeah.
It was like an underlying current.
Yeah, which I just actually think is actually not right. And I know the pure X's and O's. It was the Paramount deal and all this stuff. But they were going to get killed by it. Like, because they're talking like 2007-ish. They're still talking like ship in DVD Netflix.
They were both still doing that, right? Blockbuster was doing it alongside them.
Right. Like, Blockbuster was going to get killed by Netflix. They just didn't get killed by Netflix.
But like being an early Netflix subscriber, because sometimes you could get movies you couldn't get at Blockbuster or whatever. The frustrating thing is when they started streaming, their streaming selection was low.
No, so we
it
canceled
was
it.
Super
We canceled
garbage.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had the DVD sent in because you're again like the golden egg was the new releases, and you go on a Friday night to Blockbuster, at least in Carmichael,
the wall's empty.
they're gone.
Yeah.
And you do like the nostalgia in the movie brought more nostalgia about me, even though I didn't really have any attached going into it. And they're like, yeah, it was gone. And you ran up front and said, hey, where is it? Like, when does it come in? And we did all that.
And you stand there and wait for people to return.
We did all that too, or we would come back the next day. But Netflix often didn't run out for some reason. Like, you could get the new releases most of the time.
It might have been due to the fact that I think kind of Netflix was the DVD era, right?
Right.
Where like I think DVDs
to the VHS era of video rental. I actually was assistant manager of the Warehouse. Remember the Warehouse?
No.
I thought they were gonna say Warehouse for Blockbuster.
You know, it would WHERE house.
WHERE.
It was a competitor to. It was a Tower Records competitor.
Interesting.
Okay.
And in Daly City, the year I took off school.
Awesome.
Talk about local shit too. I didn't even know Tower was our thing.
Oh yeah, Tower. So.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was our
Are
thing.
they all closed now?
I think so.
They're all closed except in other countries. They're in Ireland and I think Japan.
Really?
Different.
Where
Yeah.
the
different.
nostalgias are live,
different
and thriving.
That
Yeah.
one could easily make. I think they mentioned in this movie too, but they could easily make a comeback with records and vinyl.
Oh, they have.
And then, and then
They have.
Blockbuster
Like, I
could
follow them
easily
on
too,
Instagram.
like VHS or collectibles. Like
Yeah.
I'd go in there if they had a bunch of like sick figurines.
Oh, for sure.
But Tower I thought was only here
no,
as a
it's
kid
everywhere.
because there's a big old one on El Camino right by that Costco we were talking about.
Yeah, and by like the Tower Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But
Yeah, they tore that building down by the Tower Theater, but that's where it started.
I heard they just got bought out. Did you tell me that?
The Tower Theater itself.
Yeah.
I saw a movie.
Oh yeah, they did.
I saw
yeah.
a movie there once,
Yeah.
and it was actually pretty fun. Like I would want to go there and watch like something. I saw they had like Indiana Jones or something playing there.
That's
and
cool.
I almost went.
I saw Tarantino's Hateful Eight. There.
Oh, that would have been great to
The
watch.
Roadshow 70mm version. It was
Oh
awesome.
my god.
I just went and got popcorn there during COVID.
Yeah, I know you did.
Sick.
Yeah. They're
Any-
just selling popcorn. This poor older gentleman's just sitting there so sad all night. I
Damn.
know. No one's in there. No one's
Damn.
buying popcorn. Me and Dan roll in by like 3 of them.
Well, I remember they mentioned in the documentary that they had the opportunity to buy Netflix.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
That was a mistake.
But
But
good God.
But again, at the time, why would you? Like, what resources do they have at the time
Would
that
they have
you
done
don't
the same
have?
thing with it?
Right. Probably not. Like, yeah. Are you buying that exact employee that came up with the streaming idea to really explode that? It's all so. Who knows?
Netflix is notorious for having a very different kind of employee culture, and that some people think is really innovative and some people think is really toxic. There's been a lot about their like their pitch deck for their HR system is basically like, if you were no longer able to commit to what our current goals are, like you can add to our current goals, like if you can actually help us reach our goals, if you can't do that, then we're just going to fire you and that's going to be it. And like the HR person who developed this had a background that was different from the direction they ended up going, and she just like got fired and just like left. And
Makes sense to me. I mean, think about it. Like set expectations on an employee as soon as they come in.
Well, something.
And that's
what we do.
Yeah, it's a very broad expectation, but it makes sense. Like if you're the podcast guy, and well, you know, the podcast is we're moving to video only or whatever. You're like, well, you're not on this train anymore. Sorry, you know.
yeah.
It makes sense.
But
Cutthroat, but
yeah. But I think that probably the reason they didn't do it is they didn't have the money, because some
Sure.
of the Redstone had sucked all the extra cash out of Blockbuster to try to acquire Paramount.
Yeah.
So I mean that part of it is definitely true. But you're right. I think that
In 2015, hypothetically, Blockbuster tries to stick around where Paramount allows them to. They're dead.
Yeah. Well, when when I worked at the Warehouse, it was vinyl, and then we had VHS rental, and that's how you kept the store going, because there wasn't enough sales, and CDs hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
CDs were just starting to happen, and
That was probably the biggest fact to me. That
Yeah,
what
the-
80s videos cost $100.
$100.
And that does it does make 100% sense. It makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
And
the way
I
that
would
they
have
went about
justified
it,
it.
yeah.
I would have justified
Well,
it.
the way they went about it with ticket sales.
Right.
That's how they made the price.
100%.
It had nothing to do, at first, I thought it was going to be about like just how much it cost to make those things.
Sure.
Kind of your standard kind
Or
of
the
business, like-
redistribution license.
Yeah, it was like no, they just thought that like mathematically, like you're gonna watch it X amount of times, and this is how much our tickets cost, so we're gonna charge you $100 for this thing.
Right.
My brain works that way with a lot of things, and I've like talked to people, and they're like, "Golf's so expensive," and I was like, "Yeah, like clubs and stuff, but you get 4 hours of entertainment for $30 at an okay golf course."
Mhm.
And I was like, a movie's $10. I always do that in my head.
Yeah.
I always do it.
Yeah.
An hour and a half entertainment at a movie theater is $10 for me, and golf is 30 for 3 hours. Golf's actually cheaper.
Sounds
and
like yeah.
obviously it can't, right? Because you're buying fucking $1,000 clubs and all this bullshit and beers
the beers.
yeah, all this stuff. But you could say the same for movies. But a baseline price for any activity I do in my brain is based on a $10 movie for an hour and a half. So when they say a DVD or a VHS in the 80s cost $100 because you could watch it with 5 friends twice, I would probably be like, yeah, I'll buy my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because like, but where was that money being lost? Because the movie's already out of the theaters.
Yeah.
There's like, it's gonna maybe play on a public cable channel.
Yeah, but
You know,
probably
but-
less likely, right? Because
like-
that license is probably expensive.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, why were they so concerned about like people viewing it multiple times or viewing it with multiple?
Because you're
people?
thinking it's free rev.
because like it's just
Yeah.
new. It's just
Yeah.
new revenue.
That is
I
interesting.
don't understand their gripe.
Right. Yeah, or being like kind of frugal about it.
Yeah.
It's contracting. It's talent and production contracting.
Mm-hmm.
You're like when you sign a contract for to do a movie, there's a section about
Redistribution?
actually it's like there's a for whatever they call that, I can't remember that, when you're actually seeing it on a screen and it's going to play for X amount of time or whatever and you're getting X dollars for it, and then it's distributed on hard copies or
Right.
whatever, and then there's
But not from-
separate for electronic distribution.
But day one
And
there
then-
wasn't. Like we're talking like the first VHS to ever come out to mass sale.
But see, they had to work on that as they went forward. Like I think
Sure.
they weren't able to start issuing those things until they had the contracting in place for it, because they would just
Who's gonna get
sued.
paid for
yeah,
this?
someone
Yeah.
would get
Yeah.
sued.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works now because you hear about like whatever Rocky 1 playing on TNT every Saturday. And
Oh, they're getting
Sylvester,
residual. They're getting residuals on
Sylvester
that.
getting $1,000 in the mail.
Yeah, it's sort of a two-part thing where
Yeah.
where they're paying. TNT has bought a license for X amount of
showing
distribution
years,
or a certain number of years or
Yeah.
whatever, and then then the production company or whoever the studio has to dole out the residual.
But Dee's right. Like in the 80s, like cable TV wasn't really a thing. Like all that's kind of 90s-ish.
It was
How
pretty-
many channels were there? No way, even a quarter of what we have now.
I had cable in 1980.
How many channels though?
Probably 30.
That's not too bad.
Between 30 and 100.
I just feel like it
don't
was
know.
such a
What was
different.
the movie night? Like, what day of the week was like the big movie that's going to be on televised?
So I was gonna say, like, even
What day
Fridays,
was that?
even Fridays in our childhood, it was TGIF.
Yeah.
You got Fresh Prince, you
Yeah.
got Family Matters, you got all the Boy Meets World, and like that was our Friday thing, and that was regular TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just not a different thing. Where now you go on TNT and Spike and AMC and all these cables now, like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars is on every weekend.
Yeah.
Which I love. I
Yeah,
literally
I'm
still put
good with
those on.
those,
But
yeah.
I feel like the landscape was so different in the 80s.
I never had HBO until 1986.
See, I didn't even know HBO was popping.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
we had HBO, MTV. MTV came out when I was in high school.
Yeah, but MTV was like music, and shows. Like it wasn't really like movies. Now you go
No.
there and it's like shit.
There's something that
repeats.
has nothing to do with.
I just feel like the
anything in that world.
'90s was the evolution of all. Like Blockbuster was around in the '80s, but it fucking hit guts. Like
Yeah.
it was pop culture. Blockbuster, MTV, HBO was '90s to the max.
One of the saddest things about the whole video rental was how Blockbuster just killed the mom and pops.
Yeah.
The mom and pop
49er
video
video,
stores.
dude.
I
saw
think
it go out of sale.
But then again, though, it's like that's how that was definitely going to happen because like it was popular. But it's like, man, like they were saying, like those guys had to pay $100 per copy to have in the store to rent.
And how many do
And
you
like
need?
you buy 3 copies, that's $300 back in like the early 90s.
Yeah, and the variety of movies that Blockbuster could
or even
do.
the early 80s.
Yeah,
and just the sheer number of copies of the new releases. And that's
and
why
they'd be gone because there'd only be 3.
And how different is that from this lady running through Target and buying Star Wars Episode 1 for $9.99 and just saying, fuck it, I'm going to make money off this? How is that legal?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer
That
for
was
it.
the first thing
I wonder if that's Paramount has her covered under their umbrella with the license she gets from them.
Like a Paramount movies that she can just
maybe not even that, but maybe they pay something. I don't know, because that seems.
I don't know. It's really clear.
Because I think it's technically illegal if we want to do it right now. If we wanted to go grab Star Wars and technically show it, I forgot the number. There is a number. I've looked it up. It's like over 15 people. If we wanted to show it in the gym, technically it's illegal. Yeah.
When I was in high school, we actually rented Holy Grail. A 16 millimeter of Holy Grail and showed it for money. Yeah. But like we had to have a license to do that.
Oh, you paid the license?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Like a little fundraiser or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, because I forgot. I looked this up a while ago, and UFC stuff, like all that, like it does get hairy, and you're not going to get arrested for showing.
That's why bars have to pay for like what? Per TV.
No one shows UFCs anymore because I think it's hella expensive.
Oh, dude, no, they were paying. I remember like in El Gordo, this place called like Bull Wings or whatever, and I heard some numbers like it was like 5 figures.
Yeah, no, I think it's in the thousands per
it was like,
TV.
Dude, it was like $10,000 for like a Saturday night.
That's why people
just
don't do
to play
it
the
anymore.
fights. Like they would have to come out of pocket and just hope they make it back in drinks.
And then, I wonder. I mean, it has to be legal, otherwise they probably wouldn't put it in this video. But I wonder. To backtrack, I know we're all over the map, but this movie I think kind of gained random popularity. Like it feels like they shot
Turned
it
to like a little bit of a cult following.
It felt like Blockbuster. This exact Blockbuster movie was not supposed to like do well. It's just how it was shot, you know what I mean? But
it came out at the perfect time.
I think it came out the perfect time, not only movies, but I think the GameStop stock deal played a role into this. Where I wasn't a GameStop kid, and that's something they didn't touch at all in this. I rented games like motherfucker.
I was gonna mention that at some point
at
too.
Blockbuster.
They didn't mention it once.
No, that was my biggest.
It was in the background of one shot, and that was it.
That was where I spent probably 90% of my time in the movie store. My mom's looking around for movies. I honestly didn't really care that much about the movies there because like my movies I really liked, I had at home. Back in like mid 90s, right? So I went there for N64 video games.
Yeah.
That's why I was at Blockbuster.
Same.
Looking at all the games, which were like always the good games, the new games were always sold out.
Yep.
And then I'd even had like a Super Nintendo still, so I'd even rent like some Super Nintendo games back then. And I remember playing the Terminator Nintendo game, which is terrible, but it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, but yeah, dude, the N64, dude, Wave Race, dude, I probably rented that game 50 times.
So that was something I was going to bring up. It was a perfect model. I think it's almost a better model to rent games than movies because you can test it before you buy it.
Yeah.
Right? So it helps both industries, the selling industry and the renting industry. New shit, random shit. And we talked about the random movies you might pick up, but I feel like that's less likely than a game. Because you're like $3, it might be good, and you'd find even more random-ass games that you personally enjoyed. Like something like that. Like I like Terminator the movie, but if you're a gaming guy, you kind of know, kind of like books to movies to games don't always work out well.
And games to movies almost never work
I can't think of one, sadly. They were going to make a Halo one. I really wanted it, but it'd probably suck. I watched, they always suck. But then, and then you do a little bit of math. Games prices really haven't changed. Like I think
they've always been about $50.
I think N64 was like $45.99, and now in Xbox or anything, a Steam game, they're all $50.
Yeah, it's like skateboards and video games that haven't changed prices.
Which is wild. So I'd rent the same game for like 3-4 weeks, beat it, and then never play it again.
Yeah,
because it's $3 a week.
Yeah.
Sam, what's the video game movie that was directed by David Bowie's son? Warcraft.
Yeah, trash.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The Warcraft movie.
Yeah, it was so
I
bad.
never watched it.
I wanted to like it.
And it was bad.
Oh, it was terrible. No, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I could do better with claymation right now on my iPhone. Yeah, it was really bad. So
that makes me actually want to watch it more.
No, you should watch it. I saw it in theaters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord.
But I love going to the movies. Like I love popcorn. I love the experience of going to the movies. I don't know why. Me and my dad, he always liked it. He would just like randomly say like, "Hey, let's go catch a flick." I'm like, "All right, whatever." Like, and we just go. And so I really enjoy that experience. And so sometimes but it tells you how bad states of movies are. There's nothing popping up right now that I'm like, yeah, worth it. Not even close.
That's it. I'm all about that.
There was nothing I would even suffer through for $6.
Well, they're not releasing a whole lot to theaters right now.
Half of them are from 2020.
Oh yeah.
It's like Miss Marvel.
Well, this
still
is
in there.
actually from 2022. The last Blockbuster came out in 2020.
I'm down to go to like a niche theater, like a small theater, like we got here, and watch like
Tower.
something vintage. Like
Yeah,
that'd be-
so even
I know it's not your
Crest-
thing. But
Yeah, no, I would be down because Crest was doing that for a while too. They're showing like Indiana Jones or.
See, I'm
or-
down with that. That sounds
I
like
like stuff like that
blast.
with the real popcorn. I'm getting over my vintage phobia.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Expanding.
$200 to rent one of the theaters at the Tower.
Still?
Yes, to see.
But can you still do that at like Hollywood or not?
A
What's it
big
called?
one?
Cinema.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
What's it called? They
I
were
don't
doing
know.
that like early COVID. My buddy did it for his-
$100.
Yeah.
I was gonna do
Yeah.
it too. Jen, who I just introduced you out there,
Yeah.
she has a couple little ones, and she was talking about doing it for their birthday. I was
Dude,
like, "It's
what a
th-
deal.
that would be the
Yeah.
best birthday ever."
That'd be awesome. And you can put them all
Yeah.
separate from each other.
Yeah, Crest, even pre-COVID, anything, our theater downtown here would do vintage stuff like that. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
would show all the Lord of the Rings in a row, or
Just binge them, like go through all the whole Star Wars saga.
Yeah, yeah.
Nine movies.
yeah, I love that
That'd
Jurassic
be
Parks.
sick. That'd be hella fun.
The only issue with that is that I'm spoiled with the evolution of movies in terms of the experience of seats. I hate a shit seat.
It's 70% of the experience.
Yeah, now you can lounge and you actually have like shoulder room. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a
It's a
small
game
dude.
changer.
It really is. And so Sunrise, which is a suburb out where I grew up, they always had the term I'll wait till it comes on video.
Uh-huh.
I still use that shit. You know, like cuz like
Good tagline.
a movie that's like good, you want to see it, but you don't need to see it in theaters,
Mhm.
or you know the theater won't add something to it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'd argue like the first or the newest Star Wars, they're just better in theater. It's loud, the lasers are fucking flying.
They're made for the theaters.
Yeah, and so like that one, despite people not liking it or whatever, it's better in theaters. I'm not gonna wait for that. But like this middle ground one, this mall Sunrise had the movies that were in between. Again, probably a licensing deal from movies to DVD. And you get it like for $5. I don't know if you ever went out there. Or it used to be called Birdcage.
Yeah, yeah.
The Birdcage, dude. Is it? Yeah. I think the Birdcage is closed. No, it's still there. I don't think so. The Birdcage used to be across the street from the mall.
Do you remember Arden movie theaters when they used to be the domes?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw Space Jam there.
I probably did too.
I saw
'cause
Terminator
it
2 there.
I saw Lion King there. And that's
remember
the
as-
first movie I
I
remember in
being
theater.
a kid looking up and seeing the dome, like when you're in
No,
the
the
theater.
actual
It
because
was like it was kind of crazy. You felt like you were somewhere.
no, because I think they have 2 or 3 that are full domes and 2 or 3 that are cut in half.
Yeah.
And those were like the movies that weren't as popular or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
smaller rooms. Yeah,
I remember seeing Space Jam in that dome, and you look up, you feel like you're in Disney World or something,
Yeah,
like in
you
a
do.
spaceship.
You do.
These for those out there, think of like the Disney World dome, kind of
Mhm.
like that big old golf ball.
Yeah.
And we had maybe 4 of them, and they
Yeah.
were theaters. This theater is kind of weird too, because you'd always have to go to the front to buy your ticket, and then sometimes you'd have to walk through like the food and go outside
To the other set of
to
domes,
go to the
yeah.
other set of titty domes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah, they look like that.
yeah, they look like titties.
They
They,
do.
they had a breast deal quality.
And
too,
Yeah,
for
you'd
sure.
you'd go, and yeah, the whole room. How many seats were? That's the biggest theater I've ever been in.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
were
a
huge.
concert hall.
It felt like you exactly. It felt like you were like in like the Hollywood Bowl or something,
Yeah.
like a concert hall or something.
Hundreds, probably close to 100, which is huge for a theater, I'd assume. And you
I think
get in
I
this.
think they all have over 100.
All right,
seats.
then
Yeah, yeah.
1,000 for you motherfuckers out there.
No,
Lots of folks.
There was a lot. There was like probably 250 seats.
I would say double what you people are listening think of a theater.
Yeah.
It would be double the normal.
Well, I think the
theater.
modern theater too is a lot smaller than they used to be. Like
The-
you're saying,
100%.
Yeah,
There's a lot more
smaller
like
and
The
there are
industry-
fewer seats because
they have so many damn time slots.
yeah,
going.
and
That
they're-
too.
and they have so many nice seats now.
Yeah,
I
and the
mean,
industry's just
but
changed.
They take up more space. Well, yeah, actually, flashing back to my video store experience, management experience, and things changing. Like when people began to be able to buy movies, places like the Warehouse stopped renting them because it was more lucrative for them to just sell them.
Mhm.
And when DVD came in, they stopped selling vinyl, and then eventually there were cheaper places to buy both your CDs and your tapes, and
Yeah.
then DVDs came in, and that freshened things a little bit for a while, and then eventually that business just disappeared.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
really did.
Mhm.
And-
It's kind of gone now. I never, as a kid, my parents bought me stuff that I liked, and then you watch the living fuck out. Like
Oh, dude. I
Brave
want-
Little Toaster. I probably watched
Indian
that.
in the cupboard.
I probably watched all those. Like I don't know,
I think
8.
we have a copy of Indian because it actually came with an Indian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little
yeah,
toy.
the toy
Yeah.
and a key.
I watched
Yeah.
those
the key.
8,000 times, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
I had a lot of Ninja Turtles was actually like my jam.
The
Like,
movie.
The cartoon.
Okay.
But all of it. The figurines, the movies, all of it. But the cartoons, I would have like per episode or per season on VHS. Watch the living fuck out of it. As a teenager, adult, or when you get a job and I have some money, I don't know if I've ever bought a DVD. It was never my thing.
I have a bunch.
I bought a lot of Blu-rays. If like a new Star Wars comes out, I always have. I have all the Star Wars on Blu-ray.
That's pretty much all of them.
Just in case, the world shuts off and streaming dies overnight. At least I got my Star Wars.
In the zombie apocalypse, you need some entertainment.
Dude, as long as I got a power source, I can use a Blu-ray in. I don't want. If streaming died tomorrow,
you're set.
I need my
bit.
Star Wars.
You need a solar panel.
Yes.
I have a DVD player and
when did
some kind of screen.
When did it get revamped? I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I don't know what year. I guess late 90s. Maybe it was the 20th edition.
96,
Is that the 20th edition?
Yeah, that was the 20-year anniversary.
All right, so I have that set on VHS with the Darth Vader and its gold.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a plastic. So I have that, and that's it. But
I have the original VHS version.
Yeah, that's insane. You should sell that.
I don't know what I get.
There's
for
probably
them,
a lot of them out there.
If it's in decent condition, I bet you. Oh, you think there's a lot?
They made so many.
They made a lot.
The original?
Original, yeah.
You think they made a lot of that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever they came out.
Yeah, probably 78, 79.
Yeah. Yeah, just never got into buying them. I don't know. I think I bought some random ones that I thought. I'm not that frugal of a human, but I am one of the only things that gives me I've mentioned this too. It's sad. It's really the only things that give me satisfaction in this entire world. I don't get excited about a lot. I don't pat myself on the back. I don't really get happy. We put a lot of work into this place. I've never been like, yay. I just never is getting a fucking deal. I love getting a deal.
Like getting a good deal, huh?
So I go to the bin, with the used rented DVDs, and I'll get like a $3.99 Adam Sandler movie, like Waterboy or something. I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude! This is a classic."
Dude,
and I'd get it for $3.99. I'd feel good.
Dimple Records.
Oh yeah.
I would go in there and spend $50 on $3 DVDs.
Yeah, I love that.
And some Miller's Crossing or some Coen Brother VHS.
I've got the Coen Brothers box set.
Really? Yeah, exactly. Something cool because in my office at CK I have this huge row of my favorite movies on VHS. That I've had. They're actually my dad's VHS. Because my dad just always had all the new movies on VHS.
That's cool.
He bought them all. So he'd always had and they were more these kind of movies, like Terminators, Coen Brothers, kind of the art house films and big good movies, the best movies.
Yeah.
So I had this great collection, already set from when.
That's something about VHS, and even these DVDs look sick too. Because I'm not the must touch it, feel it. Because I'm not a book guy. So the only thing is a Blockbuster is semi like a library to me. And when they started talking about that, I was like, yeah, I get that. I actually feel that. Because people talk about a book fuck your reader. I need a book. I was like, nah, fuck both of them. I don't want either of them. I've never got that connection, but I do kind of get the connection. Like we were talking about, looking at the cover, whether it's scaring you or you're reading about it, touching it.
The thickness of the VHS just felt better than a DVD.
Really, no. And there is something like you talking about your collection. There are many posters. The artwork. I never got into vinyl, and I love music. I DJ'd forever. I played professional music. I love music. I love movies. I probably love music more than movies, and I never got into the vinyl. I bought some CDs because that's all you had to do. But there's something about VHS that I do think is really fucking cool.
Oh, for sure.
Because the artwork, the limited editions, the anniversaries, the remastered, there's something to that that kind of you do lose with VHS with streaming. And I can't choose a fucking movie when I'm streaming. The best thing Netflix
it's too many choices.
Best thing Netflix has done is that shuffle.
Yeah,
they just added that shuffle for people like me, and I just hit that shuffle. I was like, "Fuck it, dude! Throw the remote away."
Dude, I often have not done that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I often have the experience that I actually had in video stores where I walk through and I can't find anything I want to see.
Yeah,
I've got pretty much every damn streaming service, and it's very hard to find the thing you want, which is why the mom and pop ones actually work. If their collection's curated a little bit.
Or you get a connection like they talk about in the movie with the people that work there.
Right.
Yeah, I know Jim. Jim likes sci-fi. Hey, Jim, have you checked out this? Yeah. That stuff's really good.
And I think that
There's a whole Seinfeld episode about of that scenario.
Of the employee picks or knowing people?
Picks,
yeah, that's funny.
And I feel like that, if this kind of thing is ever going to come back, it's going to be about that level of service and somebody picking out for you. And the algorithms that Netflix
they're
uses,
not good.
They're not that great.
They're not.
You get suggested things that you just don't.
And they hide a lot. They're actual now, as much as we bashed them for when they started streaming and how much it sucked. They're I remember the first. I don't remember the name, but I watched some of the first Netflix originals, and they were worse than like Hallmark movies. Like that was the worst cinema series I've ever seen in my fucking life.
They had $100,000 to make this movie,
and it was actually like zero thought. They didn't give a fuck. It sucked. Now their production's obviously insane. Like some of their stuff is Stranger Things is Netflix original, right?
Yeah.
Like I love Stranger Things.
And like some of like Arrested Development, like
later.
A lot. There's
a lot of really good shit. There's a really good shit now.
What was that Box movie? Was a Netflix movie? Bird Box.
Oh yeah. I never saw it.
Oh, and the Scorsese, Irishman.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, there's bangers everywhere. But I've heard that, and I've seen it on TikTok. I don't know how true it is, but there's such a collection now on Netflix, and the algorithm obviously has like a purpose, and they're trying to do something good with it. That there's so many undiscoverable movies that they have like secret codes. So on TikTok, they'll show you these codes you put in on the search button, and it's like 3 or 4 digit numbers, and it'll whip out everything in there. So like
been like that for a while.
Oh really? Yeah. There's like a whole
secret menu at In-N-Out.
Yeah, there's a whole anime secret menu. There's a whole sci-fi secret menu. There's all like
Does
it was
have
just
like
cool.
Akira on there? Because you can't stream Akira anywhere.
I think there's a bunch of shit. I don't know because I don't watch anime, but like that's cool. But like you said, it's not very convenient to watch or find.
Yeah, you can't wander into the area that you're looking for.
You get stuck.
The trick that I use for finding where something is streaming is going to IMDb and pulling it up, and it usually says there's somewhere where you can see it.
Yeah.
So it's going to lean heavily on Amazon because Amazon owns IMDb now.
I didn't watch that either. Yeah, it's so intertwined. Everything's
fucked. But when you're talking about budgets, though, this movie, the books, because
but it fits the nostalgia of the store.
It does. The only thing is the guests, and I hate to talk shit or like the.
Oh God, what did that guy get paid from Super Jaime then? $5,000.
That guy, dude, like
maybe.
Yeah, no, maybe
they probably gave him points on the back end.
Yeah, he might have volunteered. Which is good.
Smart for him because it kind of taken off a little bit.
Yeah, but like it's like that. Like not that Blockbuster. I think because Blockbuster was kind of an under the radar nostalgia to most people, and maybe I don't want to speak for everyone, but I felt like I didn't feel attached to it until I watched this. I don't think you and I like rock Vans or something because we wore Vans in high school. Like there's more nostalgic things to us.
Yeah.
Blockbuster wasn't, or even McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like it's more like 90s nostalgic.
Dude, there was a McDonald's right next door to the Blockbuster.
Yeah, perfect.
In Elk Grove here. Yeah. Well, not here, but down the road. And dude, it was a 1-2 combo.
Yeah.
You go to Blockbuster, you swing by Mickey D's, you head to the house.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Boom. Friday night.
But it never like called to anybody, so it makes sense they didn't have the budget, and it makes sense they couldn't get Tom Cruise to talk about Blockbuster.
Right.
Like it kind of all.
The cast of people involved is a little better than I would have thought that it would be.
100%.
Honestly,
I don't know.
They leaned in to Ron Funches quite a bit.
Is that the high guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, he's just so weird.
Well, and Doug Benson's also a high guy.
He was there.
Jamie Kennedy was interesting.
Oh, Jamie Kennedy's actually a decent one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
How about the guest that literally, because we talked shit on this on the other show we just did, because a lot of the labels they gave on the interviews, they didn't like say who they are, why you care about them. This one, they labeled them well, but one guy was named like video renter.
Yeah.
Or like,
I thought it was like valued customer or something.
Customer for 30 years, or like, aren't we all renters? Like, why did you choose this guy?
Video renter. Is that you talking about the guy that looks like he just lives in the back of the store?
Talk about his favorite movies, World of Warcraft movie. That guy,
probably.
Yeah.
He was a sweat for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's just gaming and fucking watching movies. He's never left his house.
No, yeah, he was all in on like keeping the nostalgia alive though.
Yeah. No, he was in it.
But then you look at the people like just shopping in the background. I don't know if they're like
I know 2 people who've been to that Blockbuster in the last couple of months.
Yeah, that's funny.
Really?
Yeah, just like one of them in the last 2 or 3 days.
I mean, I want to go.
Yeah, it does.
I bought some of her merchandise.
I did too.
You
got to support Sandy, dude.
Sandy just represents like hard work and determination.
For sure.
Like as corny as that sounds, like I mean, trying to keep a Blockbuster alive, like that requires like some like serious dedication to like I want to keep my mom and pop's video renter store still going.
What I like,
and she's a grinder. She grinds, wakes up and grinds.
And they showed a good part of that because you could tell, at least I could tell, I think we could tell, when someone's hamming it up or hamming it down. She was only like a 7 out of 10 passionate. Like they didn't make her like blood. She didn't have a Blockbuster tattoo, and she
Yeah.
wasn't like in your face. Like
Yeah.
this is really who she was, and she really was just a grinder.
Yeah.
She didn't say I'm gonna live and die by this spear,
No.
Blockbuster
No.
to death. She's just like, I like this store, and I hope we get good news. Like it was so
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
it was so authentic because it was a $50,000 movie.
There wasn't a huge emotional breakdown of tears.
No,
and stress
yeah, it wasn't
and
fake.
Her running out the door, like
She could
the camera
tell-
chasing her.
Yeah, she's making breakfast. Like, yeah, I work a lot, and it was just so real. That's why I liked her because she was so just normal, real, on the upper echelon of hardworking for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But just real.
Well, I think part of it is that like this is the world that she sees. This is the world.
Yeah.
This is her vision of the world.
Yeah.
And so she's just doing whatever she can to make it work. I don't think she has like a vision of what else might replace this if all this goes to hell.
Yeah,
it never had a sense of a plan B at
I think
all.
she just said retire. I think
Yeah.
she mentioned my husband said when the store closes, I retire. So they must have money ish.
Well,
I don't know.
if you notice so very clearly, you look at the store and you look at the things they have in there. It's definitely almost like a pass through town, like world's giant bowl of iron, or biggest bowl of Band-Aids.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's a tourist attraction now.
Right.
Yeah,
So you're going there. Yes, you can rent DVDs technically,
sure.
but people are going in there. They're looking at the movie, clothing that they have in there that they got from that Canada store that closed down.
Yeah.
Like the stuff from like what is it, Gladiator? Or
Gladiator.
whatever.
Yeah.
And,
just Russell Crowe.
Just a bunch
Loincloth
of Russell Crowe stuff.
It's
of
so
all
random.
people.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And it's definitely like she sells the merch.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that's what's probably
I wanted
really
the beanie.
keeping
What
this
hat
place.
did you get?
I just got the standard trucker.
Well, I wanted the beanie. What does she
Yeah.
whip out? She said she whips out one in an hour or two. Like,
Yeah.
there's no shot. I wanted that one.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I might have to go back and get
The
the
beanie's sick.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got the standard trucker, dude. I went straight.
Yeah, the
trucker
trucker's
on
good.
it.
Bend, I believe Bend, the only thing is there Southern Oregon University, which is a D3 school.
Okay.
So that might kind of play a role into, like you said, I think it's an attraction because it's Bend is on Highway 5, which Jim and I have talked about, goes from Mexico to Canada. And so you could stop by, the big bowl deal.
Take
I think
a picture out front, go buy some candy.
if you're going to college there, sure, you stop by for a snack or you end up knowing this lady, that makes sense. And then it is kind of a cow-ish town. I think it's like Sacramento 30 years ago. You know, so you probably get the small town vibe. And Jim talking about if this makes a comeback or when. I think everything. And that's why we obviously opened this facility. And I think that's why Captain Kilos does well. And I think the mom and pop feel of a company is what people want now because technology, life, everything, you scale up because it's more convenient, it's faster, it's cheaper. But eventually you're like, this doesn't fulfill what I want. And whether that is as a career, as a consumer, as a business, you're like, I would rather pay $1 more for my strawberries just to get someone to say hello.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like that, you go into the store, it's a social event going into that store. If you even live in the town, you're going there because you're going to talk to Sandy. You're going to talk to the kids. You're going to walk around. You're just going to. It's just something to do and to have some social interaction instead of sitting on your couch with your, boom, press play. Like that gets old.
Yeah.
And people want there to be meaning behind stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And And I mean that's obviously all what we do.
Yes.
We intentionally put meaning behind it
that
comes from
it's us. We put us out there.
It's not this corporate entity of faceless branding.
Which this is probably why that one has continued to survive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an absolute loser, and so this kind of doesn't apply. But when the guys were describing going on dates to Blockbuster, that's past my era because Blockbuster stopped being a thing in like sixth grade.
I was pretty young.
Sixth-ish grade for us, maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe you would still go, but Netflix was already around, or you just go to theaters. There was kind of a gray area also in between Blockbuster not really being cool or not going, and Netflix being what it is now.
I was a pretty frequent customer of the Redbox.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
They didn't talk about Redbox a lot.
They didn't, but
Redbox had a good era up until 7 years ago. I was going to Redbox.
Remember when they first came out?
Yeah.
It was $1.
And it was at the grocery store. So
Yeah.
again, you grab your frozen pizza, your pint of Ben and Jerry's, and and they had all the movies. They were very rarely out. The Redbox had
sometimes the bangers would be out.
Yeah, maybe. You just have to go down the street because there's 20 of them.
That's true.
And I think there's like a 5 to 10 year span in between that where Netflix kind of sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Blockbuster. It was so fucking cheap, and yeah, it was just so much convenient. But my longer point was like that date night sounds dope.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
like that. It sounds like a really
jumped in there.
Yeah,
sorry,
no, you're good. But it sounds like a really good date that I never got to experience. Because like going
holding
to the
hands down the aisles.
Gee, just cool. Like, all right, you choose one, we'll watch it tomorrow. I'm choosing tonight. Just like all that kind of stuff. Just sounds so. Not that again, like I'm a loser. I don't really get dates. But hypothetically, nowadays that sounds fun. Rather than scrolling on Netflix and both choosing a shitty movie, or you could make a game like, hey, you got to choose one you've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Or you got to choose one from that section. Like it could be really fun.
It's funny. Like when me and Kelsey even first started dating. I mean, looking back now, that's probably what 7, 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
it was probably Redbox era.
Redbox was popping though. So like I remember very vividly. Like we would each get a movie from the Redbox. Like that was like my date.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about, like the date, like that was the Redbox.
Yeah.
The Redbox was the new date machine.
Yeah, but less experience.
Yeah,
that is, and I'm not that guy. Again, I'm not the vinyl guy just because it's fucking vinyl.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah, Blockbuster date sounds kind of good. Grab the snacks. The snacks are on the way out. They're not that expensive.
The Safeway right down here on the Safeway. Yeah. That's where I would go to Redbox there all the time when I lived off of P Street. You know, it was just Redbox.
Compton's has a Redbox competitor.
Oh.
In front of the store.
Really?
You can just go and like rent your It makes a weird noise though. I don't know exactly.
I was telling Dean off air. I don't even have a DVD. Like I have a PlayStation. I could probably watch a DVD now or Blu-ray, and then
I don't even know if it'll play a DVD, but it'll probably play a
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
and then like if you have a computer post 2014,
there's no DVD player.
There's zero.
Yeah.
Even though that still seems like a decent concept because like movies to buy on like iTunes or whatever are kind of expensive. Like I would never
$20.
I would never buy a movie right
for
now.
A video.
Yeah,
movie.
for a digital movie, I'm never buying that. I don't know why. It's the value's probably there,
well,
but
if you buy the DVD though, or the Blu-ray, it comes with the digital copy.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you get two.
Right.
Yeah.
You can download one.
Yeah. See, I've never done that.
That makes more sense. But if you go straight to the digital, like
it makes
you're
no
getting
sense.
totally scammed.
Yeah, I would never do that. But if it were a thing, and I might have done this in the Redbox era, I might have rented a Redbox in an airport and threw it in my Mac and watched it on the plane ride.
Yeah, that's
because
smart.
the internet still was weird on planes until
you
recently.
want to be able to guarantee you can watch it.
Bit.
Yeah, but now you can kind of stream stuff. Like I stream Amazon movies.
You pay the $5 for
yeah, but you couldn't do that like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, it's easier to stream whatever they have available.
Sure.
Though.
And they usually have good shit now.
Yeah.
Now I feel like there's an era of airplane movies where they didn't show them. I don't care. I kind of like that. Show me a movie I've never heard of or I don't want to watch. I'll watch
you
it.
Just get on the plane.
The screen whips down and you have to watch it.
In front of it. It was like on the.
Yeah,
I
like that. I like that. You buy the headphones or they give you the headphones. I like that. Then there was an era where you couldn't even stream their shit. Internet wasn't good enough to do your own shit. Now, Southwest or whatever.
That's when you had the portable DVD player.
Oh yeah,
wasn't even like
I missed that era. I
never owned one.
Yeah, but that's a great idea.
I remember those. I remember seeing people with those on airplanes.
Yeah,
when I was younger.
I think that's when I Redboxed one and chucked it in my Mac, which is a great play because there's nothing better. That's another era or idea of movies on a plane. I've seen so many movies on planes I would never watch.
I watched the first cut of the Justice League.
Yeah, same.
The last movie I watched on a plane. It was like from Dallas to Sac after like.
I think that's how I saw the first one.
Yeah, that's how I saw the first Justice League.
I watch a lot of movies like that. Aquaman, I think.
Did you guys watch the Snyder cut?
Yes, I did.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good too.
I just don't like DC. I just can't dive in. I need.
I'm with you there, except for Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight stuff.
So Dark Knight, I think Dark Knight's the only one, and we'll maybe even end this as we rant off. Dark Knight's the only one that could actually be dark, have some like guts to it without being kind of cringy. Every other DC to me ends up like they're trying to be that edgier than Marvel, right? DC, but it's just not doing it for me. I just can't. Like Flash, I always want to punch in the dick. Like there's Aquaman fucking sucks. Like I just kind of I can't dive in.
I like the Aquaman movie.
Really?
I'm not mad at Aquaman.
Yeah, see, I can't like him. I
liked
can't.
it a lot.
I'm
a big Jason Momoa fan.
But I thought it had a good nostalgic to like the old school Power Rangers that I grew up on, like with the costumes and the characters.
It did feel like Power Rangers.
Same vibe. But
yeah, the his mom, his girlfriend, all of them kind of Power Ranger.
I actually remember renting the Power Rangers movie at Blockbuster as a kid, and
Oh.
it came in the box was the plastic box.
Yeah.
You know, not the old paper box. You know, like some of the movies. Like I have Jumanji in the plastic box in my office.
What an era!
Wow.
Have you seen
Robin Williams?
Have you seen the new Power Ranger? Probably 3 years old now.
No,
not terrible.
Really?
Yeah, another one I think I watched on a plane. Not terrible. Not
How
great.
many of those people become felons since then?
Probably all of
Because many of the originals became felons.
Isn't Tommy from here? Green Ranger.
Is he?
Maybe.
I think he's a Sacktown guy. If not, he's here all the fucking time. I think Tommy.
Tommy, where are you? Come in.
Tommy, you guys know.
You wear the suit, we'll give you a free membership.
You know Kovars?
That's a deal.
Do you guys know Kovars? Kovars is a like one of the first. They're evolutionary. They're like related to my high school basketball coach. That's why I kind of know the backstory. They one of the first to make like MMA-ish stuff for like kids. Like there was always like like obviously Cobra Kai.
Oh
type
no, I've
shit.
seen that brand.
So they're everywhere now. They probably have like 5 of them, but the originals where I grew up, and they're like a Waldorf family. That's how I know them. But they took multiple martial arts that this guy was pretty good at and kind of made him into a family-friendly thing to teach kids, self-defense,
confidence builder.
More like that. More like little kids soccer. Like this isn't Pele, but we're teaching other things here. And Tommy always went there. I was so jealous. Like my neighbor kids always went to karate. I never did. I just played basketball. But Tommy, motherfucker, was there all the time. And then we have like a fake Comic-Con here, like the most Walmart.
Wizard Con.
We have the...
It's called Wizard Con.
That's so bad. I want to go, but
I got Napoleon Dynamite's autograph.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, for years, Tommy was the only one on the brochure. I was like, they must not have nobody. Like, Tommy hasn't been in Power Rangers in 30 years.
Well, the last time I went, what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy was there. The guy with the dart that comes out of his head. What's his name? Pretty famous actor.
I literally just watched that again.
Oh, my God. He was in... Michael Rooker.
Yeah, he was here. He was there.
That's a good character.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And Napoleon Dynamite's pretty damn good.
He's in the new Suicide Squad, which looks...
right, yeah, that
looks
looks really, really
which
good.
looks fantastic.
And this is totally new Suicide, right? See, that's where I get confused in all the Marvel, too.
Well,
like
it's a nightmare. The DC movies are a nightmare.
Because the other one was named Suicide Squad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, see, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But this looks good. John Cena looks great. I'm excited.
So this one's totally separate.
Totally
but same shit.
But not totally separate.
Yeah, because Homegirl's the same.
Yeah.
What's her name? Harley Quinn. Same actress. Different storyline, different everything.
It's kind of a mess.
It's a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Will Smith, dude. I love Will. He ruined. That was not good. That was not a good play.
They were like really going for it, like all in move with that.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
That's Tommy.
Oh. Is he from here or not? Oh, Covina, California.
Yeah, he's from SoCal.
California. Yeah, I don't know. He lives here. He looks really good right there.
Lives in Houston, Texas. Maybe it's not Tommy. This guy's also 6 feet tall.
His name's Tommy, right? Or am I just calling him fucking Tommy?
No, he's Tommy.
I think Tommy was the character.
No, the character. Yeah. I know his real name ain't
Pretty
Tommy.
sure it was Tommy.
I don't know his real fucking
Wasn't
name.
Kimberly one too?
Kimberly's Pink Ranger.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, that was, talk about diversity. They did great.
No, they were on it.
They did diversity without making it corny also, though.
Yeah, they did. They did it like, it got a little racy with the
Black Ranger being black?
Yeah. And like
why couldn't it be the Blue Ranger?
I think the Yellow Ranger was Asian.
That was.
They got a little stereotypical.
I never thought of
racial
that.
there.
That's a little
Red
on the
Ranger
nose.
was an American Indian.
Was he?
No, I don't know. I'm just
Jim's
following
just
the
like,
pattern.
if that was true, then
I'm just
like,
following the pattern.
That is a little on the nose. I never thought of that. But they were. They maybe I was a kid. They did a good job of not making you think about it, but see it.
But here's the thing, though, dude. Like, this is where some of the problems lie. This is now we're like on a whole other subject.
No, it's
now,
good.
But like
Hunt it down.
When we were kids, we never looked at it as a negative thing
Right.
or of anything. We just saw representation of all different kinds of people.
That's what I mean.
And we took it in a positive way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They made
we
you
didn't
see
overanalyze it and have some adults tell us that this is wrong.
No.
That
They did
bad.
I agree. That's why they did the best job. Is we saw it, but we didn't like recognize it. It didn't matter in a way, you know. But now that you say Yellow Ranger, yellow is pretty bad.
No, it is. It is for sure. But
it's quite. That's awful.
Yeah, but it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing.
That's what I'm getting at. It was more just like, man, like this was like. We saw like, oh man, everybody's here. Like, It was very inclusive. It felt very inclusive. But then you look at it back and you see the names. And
that's pretty bad. Yeah, they didn't have to go Red Ranger, Blue Ranger. The only white guys look at each other like, hey, we should make some different friends, and then they grab those guys. They just had those friends. Yeah, I agree
for sure.
Captain Planet did a better job of
Captain Planet was
multiculturalism without being
kind of right. But then wasn't the Earth guy like he wasn't African? But then for some reason in the intro he's running with cheetahs.
Huh.
I think.
Oh, that's a possibility.
And you're like,
well, I don't know.
Captain Planet was another banger of mine. That is one thing.
That's kind of nightmare fuel, though, in a way, too. Like it's kind of like
no,
the costumes were kind of creepy.
Well, and what were they talking about, dude? Global fucking warming in 1992.
Nightmare fuel is killing me.
I should find it. My grandma sewed me a blue suit. I was Captain America for Halloween. It was dope, muscles and everything.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. Sorry,
Yeah.
what did I say? America.
Yeah.
Fuck Captain America. By the way, not a fan.
Because I've been watching the new show.
I have.
So
I only saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one
I've
yet.
seen both.
So I watched the first one, and it was like a 6 out of 10, which every first episode is.
What do
always.
you think that they spent on that first episode scene? $20 million?
Yeah, shit ton.
Oh, the opening scene?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was good.
That was it's expensive.
It was
Oh my
very
God.
Marvel-y, which you expect, which
Yeah.
is good because Wanda was so not Marvel-y to start. Like, they really threw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so Marvel-y that I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait till the end now. I watched one.
Oh, you want to go through?
I think I'm just going to binge 'em.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait and binge. I don't think there's going to be any, like, mega...
This is funny because this is kind of full circle on the whole Blockbuster video thing. Like,
Yeah.
look what TV and streaming is doing now.
No,
like,
they're killing cable,
production-wise.
too. Cable's gone, bro.
Like, how much money they're spending on this thing is never even. This could have been in the theaters.
No, easily.
Like any of this crap.
All
Like
of
the
it.
Wanda, any of this.
No.
yeah, but
the Mandalorian.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the storytelling would have to have been really different because you had to accomplish the whole thing in 2 hours. or
Sure,
less.
and now we have
Yeah.
6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're the Justice League, and as far as this was actually, I was going to bring this up.
I don't
before.
mind that.
I don't understand the name of the Justice League because they're not bringing anybody to justice. I just thought I would say that.
From day one, right?
Yeah, I know that's what they're called.
Yeah.
When you put them all together, it's called the Justice League.
Yeah.
In the same way that you have Batman and Superman together, that's called World's Finest Team,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? But there's nothing.
My favorite part though about the Justice League 2 was about the name and like the tag slogan when the first version came out. It was like the 7 Unite or whatever, but there was only 6 characters in the entire movie.
Yeah, they didn't know what was going on.
And then they finally made up for it with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Yeah, at the end.
in the other one, the Snyder cut. But I mean, all that stuff was already shot. Only 2 more minutes of footage was shot and added to that 4-hour
Right.
cut.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
That
crazy.
was
right?
all just
the
like
yeah,
Joker
put
stuff.
together different. Yeah.
Like what the hell? How do you get
Yeah.
rid of that Flash scene
Yeah.
when he comes in and helps everybody and saves everybody in that, or not saves everybody, but when he helps fight, what's his name? Wolf. What's the main villain's name? Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Like he was in that whole fight scene. That wasn't in that original
Yeah.
movie.
No,
He was like saving people.
but
like,
they filmed it. Yeah.
But they filmed like that
Yeah.
was like such a huge difference. Like
Yeah.
this character went like and like saved random cars like outside of the mission, but then he actually fought in that whole
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah.
You guys cut all that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, it did expand. It was way better, obviously, and I enjoyed it. I like all the but I just watched the original Avengers too. It's just not good. Like when you look at it, it's like that's not that good of a movie.
What's your favorite Avengers? Like, favorite Avengers movie.
that world?
Yeah. That I guess that world, that timeline leading up to Endgame, like of those movies.
I think Civil War and Winter Soldier, and we talked about this. I don't know if on air or off air, but I liked it so much because it felt so real.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Iron Man and I think it was off air. We were talking Iron Man and Captain America rivalry
Mm-hmm.
feels so real life because you hear both of their point of view and neither one like. I like it, and that's why I like Logan and some of these things because it's not like you're bad guy, I'm good guy. I don't like that because it just doesn't make sense. Where like I have a point of view, I have a point of view. They kind of clash, but they like that's why I really like that.
Arch villains are boring.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Like that,
Normally
the
so.
only arch villain that's actually not boring, as far as I'm concerned, is the Joker.
Yeah.
And it's particularly the Joker that's in The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's so good.
That version
Yeah.
of the Joker, he because he will. There's the whole personality disorder where he's pushing into the possibility that he was an abused child.
Yeah.
He was someone who was put in this situation, and this is what resulted
Yeah.
from that. And the moment you start to believe it, you find out, oh no, this is just a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Thanos is kind of like balanced, really.
Right.
Like, he's not really evil.
Yeah.
You know, like really, like you can kind of understand him. Like in 2021 America, you're kind of
Yeah.
like, well, maybe Thanos has a point. Maybe we just reset this bitch. You know, like half of us are just a bunch of idiots. Like,
I would probably agree with you for sure on Civil War is way
yeah,
up
it's good.
there.
It's good.
Way up there.
Endgame and stuff's fine too, or I like them. I that's the thing is, if I'm being movie critic Mike, which barely comes out, Avengers sucked. But mostly Mike just likes to kind of be wowed for 2 hours. I'll watch a lot of things and enjoy it.
Age of Ultron sucked.
Yeah, see, I like.
We've
That's
Yeah.
by
that
far the
recently,
worst of that whole.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything that came out.
I just
there.
didn't like Loki in Avengers.
But Loki's an awesome character.
No, and he's amazing in Ragnarok, and he's amazing in
Yeah.
every single other one. but I didn't
Ragnarok
like
is
him.
probably my second favorite.
Ragnarok's
Civil
really
War.
good.
Civil War than
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
I mean, that's what fucking Bart named his kid after the director.
really.
Yeah,
That was a
Taika
great-
Waititi.
Oh, Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Great.
Taika Waititi's just an awesome.
No, he's
person.
amazing.
He's doing a Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm stoked.
Yes.
It's gonna be crazy.
Talk about the evolution semi-wrap this up. The evolution of all these things, like Dean said, the series that are being made right now. I think we're in the middle of a bigger step of that. Netflix sucked at series. Amazon sucked up until real recent in series.
I like Jack Ryan.
That's
on Amazon.
What's the other one they made? The Boys, or
The Boys. That was
pretty good.
What's his name was in charge of that? Seth Rogen.
Yeah. A lot of those are good, but now and Stranger Things was a big hit. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of big hits that kind of came around the Netflix and stuff. But right now with Disney, Netflix, even Amazon, Hulu, the originals that are coming right now are, like Jim even said, beyond movies. And I think we're in the middle of it and don't even see it yet. Everyone's like, yeah, Mandalorian, dude, love that. Like WandaVision's so good. But these are brand new. This is a brand new step in media. Mm-hmm. Like these are because even series before, like Breaking Bad and that kind of era, Dexter, and really good series. In depth, production was middle of the ground to high tier. Good series, but they felt like TV. Mm-hmm. These feel like their own thing.
Yes.
Mandalorian's like a movie, but nuts, but crazy.
Disney's killing it.
Dude, they're going nuts. But so is Netflix. Like there's a lot of good stuff that's coming. Either way, Disney's going apeshit.
You know who's killing Netflix is Adam Sandler's making good stuff on Netflix.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad.
I haven't seen any of it. But
and well, he signed a huge contract. I think they own him.
Yeah,
they own him in like 20 movies he has to make for him.
His soul to them.
No, he really did. Yeah. They own all his old shit, and then he owes them a certain amount of movies. Yeah. And some of them started real fucking bad. But he started to really evolve.
Like they're well worth watching like once through.
Even the one in the middle of kind of his badness, Cobbler.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Like it's not terrible.
Really?
Like it's not Waterboy, you know. It's not fucking gold, but you're like, nah, you know.
Yeah, Spade. When you put Spade in there with Sandler, dude, it's gonna be watchable.
Yeah, no, I agree. Those are the
they
same.
all go on vacation and they shoot a movie together. That's what happens. It's like, oh, we want to go here.
It
okay,
is funny.
Let's go there.
I love that. But yeah, I think the evolution is nuts right now. You know, like we're all Star Wars fans, Lord of the Rings fans, all this stuff. Like they're coming with the heat. I'm really excited for Obi-Wan. Something starts real soon too. What did I just see?
You see who's in Obi-Wan? Han from Fast and Furious.
I did. Yeah, they just announced that. I guess that May. Something's coming in May. I forgot what it was.
No, that's the Bad Batch. That's the cartoon series.
The Bad Batch is coming in May. That's the preview I just watched. Yeah. If those out there that are even semi-nerdy haven't watched Clone Wars yet, it's animated, but it's fucking so good.
As long as you can get through like the first season, it's kind of like that, like
of course,
like adventure of the week kind of like video before they really got into like storytelling.
Yeah, they didn't have,
had to figure out their identity.
They didn't have a deeper plot
but it was still
yet.
Good.
But the deeper plots really start to come in, and it really does. Unlike, in my opinion, the side Star Wars movies like Rogue One, although those are entertaining to watch, they don't really fill gaps. Clone Wars starts to fill some gaps and open questions and like really explore the lore.
Well, people get so blown away by like, I cannot believe that they went with this crazy absurd concept in X movie.
Yeah.
But like, nah, man, like on the cartoon shit's way crazier than this.
It really
is toned down.
Yeah. It is, and
so it explains. You have to really. I think where they kind of missed the boat for the mass majority of people on some of these newer, like the last kind of like final trilogy, is that they reference so much back to like the side stuff, like the Clone Wars.
That's where Mandalorian
Rebels and Mandalorian too. So it's like if you don't know all that stuff, this stuff's gonna make no sense. You think it's way too far.
And even if you do,
like, no, they've been building this up.
Even if you do, I have to Google some of it. I've watched the Clone Wars twice because you got to kind of revamp. Like, who's
there's
that
so
guy?
much to digest. There's 20 episodes a season, and
that's why I
love
it.
Fucking 7 seasons.
The only thing is Bad Batch. I wish they could like kind of, and they won't because of the money, but like turn that to PG-13 R. Yeah. Like the vibe there is so good. Like these fucked up clones. Like it's really good. It could be like a whole new everything.
Yeah, good. Disney will never do a rated R. I don't think. Like DC, like
that's why they have Hulu though.
Well, they're supposed to be doing Deadpool. They're supposed to be Deadpool. Supposed to be R again.
Oh really?
Yeah, they committed to that because they're way far down the road. They tried to do that recut of Deadpool 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did it. It's
kid version.
Yeah, no, it's in the style of Princess Bride.
Yeah,
with Fred Savage.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Strangely enough, I didn't.
Ryan Reynolds is good. He's just there's some of these dudes that are like, oh yeah, they're in pretty good movies and they're pretty funny, but they're like, I think they're low key geniuses, you know. And people look at Ryan Reynolds as the pretty boy or whatever, but like he's low key genius.
Dude,
Seth Rogen,
Van Wilder, man, come on,
so good. It's so
Waiting.
Good. Yeah, Waiting's classic that a lot of people haven't seen.
Yeah, Waiting's a sleeper.
Van Wilder, who is Bert Kreischer.
Is that who?
Yeah, Van Wilder is based on an article that was written about Bert Kreischer when he was in college.
That's amazing.
Really?
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I didn't know that.
That makes sense.
Yep. It's funny how people like that have blown up because he is a funny dude.
But to bring it back around a little bit, we're talking about high production values and all this stuff. This is a $50,000 movie, and they cut it like they almost didn't care.
No, kind of like a YouTube video.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very much cut like. I was thinking the whole time is like there is a little bit of a slice of audience that likes to see all the seams.
Yeah,
and they showed them all.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like you wouldn't have made this movie that way 5 years ago unless you.
Yeah,
you know,
it is hard. Again, wrapping around. I hope YouTube does it too. Part of what made YouTube so special in the era, and obviously I'm biased because it was the era like I watched and created, is that we had reality TV in 1995, probably MTV shit, and it was reality TV.
Yeah.
And then started to get higher production, and it still got good. You know, like everyone loves a little Jersey Shore here and there or whatever, and it starts to go there. And then it gets so scripted and so overproduced, you lose the reality. So then what? So then you go to YouTube and you start watching these vloggers. And the same thing happens. These vloggers get overproduced. They get some money. Well, how do I? And it's not
everything's an ad.
It's not on anyone, right? Because they have to make their money, and they're as an artist or creator, they want to improve. We do too. We're getting nicer mics. We're trying to get nicer headphones. Like you want to improve your production, but you can't lose that authenticity and connection to the audience.
It's so hard not to.
And same with the company. I'm sure Caffeine Kilo is going through it. Like you guys are.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You're at such a high level. How do you remain the core brand to fitness and caffeine while still making money, and you want to do better, cooler things?
That's that's the daily struggle, right? That's the daily question you have to always analyze, and you have to have people. It's always good to have people from the outside kind of letting you know also. Like we have a very loose, very open work environment where like if someone sees something they don't like agree with, they see a direction that like just speak up, say something. Cool. Like don't hold back. We have a very don't hold back kind of mindset in our office.
Yeah, whether you take your idea or not, but we're going to at least listen.
For sure. I mean, there's been we have employees that come up with great ideas every day.
Yeah.
And like it's like no one's like, oh, he didn't think of that. That's not gonna go through. Because he didn't think of it. That is not even remotely the truth. Like I have bad ideas too. I have good ideas, and I've had people that do warehouse stuff, boxing up orders that have had great ideas that move the needle.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And so I hope maybe a mom and pop, VHS collectible store opens. I hope YouTube goes back to that and wanting to see some of the seams. I think with documentaries, and hopefully we do this next month. I think we're going to do Seaspiracy next month, which is already tomorrow. But
month after.
Yeah, for the episode. Right. It's obviously produced, but something about documentaries, you want them to see the seams a bit. Because then you feel like you're getting the truth, and whether you are or not, we all know many of them have agendas and lie. But you want to see raw footage, and hopefully YouTube goes back there because now YouTube is there's nothing on YouTube. That's why I like Twitch now.
I used to live on YouTube, and I actually do watch these guys. They're called Good, and they're like these golf kids that like do golf stuff.
Yeah,
and they just do. But these kids are super authentic, and they have their own brand, so they don't have to like push
for
anybody else. So like they'll pump their stuff like, hey, check out our new our new tees, our new golf shirts, like blah blah blah. But like they just keep it real, and it's like I think it's gonna because they're like on the rise.
That's it.
Like they had like 20K subs like last year. Now they're like in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Like
they're on the brink.
They're on the so pretty soon they're probably gonna hit that spot
where
and
who
it's
knows?
Like, you can't even watch the shit anymore.
Yeah.
But it's fun to like when they're in that sweet spot.
It's real authentic.
Yeah, besides that though, I don't watch shit on YouTube like I used to. I used to only watch YouTube, not even watch TV or movies.
Yeah,
I was like, what's on YouTube today?
Podcasts, and obviously some are produced. But you get an hour, 2 hours of people talking. You're gonna get the real shit.
I listen to podcasts in my car almost exclusively.
Yeah, Twitch. You get someone live, not doing nothing for 8 hours. You're getting the real authentic version of that. Like I like that. Like you can't fuck up. I like that. Even like stand-up comedy kind of has that when you go in person. Like this dude has a routine for sure, but you're seeing this dude. Like you're seeing this dude. Like he's thinking, he's moving fast, and he might fuck up, he might not fuck up, but you're kind of in it. And I think there's always a want and need for that because it is that level of human connection, and that's what this movie, despite its random fucking cast of interviews.
Yeah, and it does in a lot of ways feel very thrown together, and you just sort of kind of let it wash over you and decide which parts of it mean something to you. And I mean they call it a nostalgia documentary, and that's really just what it is.
That's actually one of those categories that they make up that I'm like, okay, I get this one. This one actually makes sense. This actually fits. And now we're gonna watch that Seaspiracy, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is big money production right here.
It does feel different, even though the filmmaker supposedly, I think this was his first big gig ever. He's youngish.
What does that mean anymore?
Yeah, right, because he could have done a really good pitch and got a lot of money, and who knows. But I think he edited and stuff. But it's solid. It's solid, and it ties into fitnessy. But who gives a fuck?
That guy that's on that documentary. Anyways, but I see him on a lot of the Shark Week stuff. The guy with the bald head, he's missing an arm, missing a leg.
Yeah, he's been in. He's not the main one though.
He's on there.
Yeah, he's on there. Yeah, they have some characters like that. But the kid that makes the movie is kind of young. I think he's mid-20s. It's kind of cool.
Well, that's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, there's some twists. There's some twists in this next one.
There's a true crime documentary series that was just on HBO, and it was a first-time filmmaker, but it was about his mom's murder.
Oof.
Like, who else can make that?
Oof.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that documentary about the guy that son died from like the OxyContin overdose, and then he did the documentary? It's on Netflix. It's called. Anyways, I'll talk about it. I'll think of the name. It's fantastic.
I'm not a huge murder crime guy, but if you guys want to dive in, I'll dive in.
This was about like basically doctors just writing prescriptions in the boom of the OxyContin era, and just like basically just trapping out of these like independently owned urgent cares.
Yeah.
And this guy's son died, and he did all the investigating himself.
Yeah.
Similar to what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Highly relevant. Steroids, marijuana, Oxy, obviously, like all those kind of what do they call it? Doc in a shop or doc in a box or whatever, right? Like kind of very private-y. Who knows what the fuck's going on? Or now websites that are doing the same thing that have a doctor on staff.
Yeah.
Highly relevant.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that we've accomplished making an episode that's very much like this film, in which we threw a lot of things on the wall.
It's good.
And whatever you vibe with is the thing you're going to enjoy and remember from this episode.
Yeah, check out the movie though; it's pretty decent.
Yeah,
it's short.
It's not long. It's easy digestible, and
it's the right length for a documentary, as far as I'm concerned.
Especially about Blockbuster.
Yeah. They couldn't make it any longer, and it is kind of wholesome. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not fucking Super Size Me. It's not lazy. It's wholesome. It's a feel good deal. Check it out, Dean. Where can people find you?
Yeah, man, at Caffeine and Kilos, or just at, my personal at deansidores.ck. Not a ton on there, but,
Some skating.
I used to now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
a little
It's like
stomper.
overnight. I got him one of those Fisher-Price basketball hoops now.
Yeah, it's
so
going
he's
in.
like,
That's
dude,
great.
vibing on that.
It's going in. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Dean is our official, non-official media host. I think it's in.
There we go.
The people said. So follow us, 3rd Street Barbell. Give us a rating and review on iTunes. It really, really does help. Share this episode, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. We'd love to see your comments and shout you back. And we'll be back next Wednesday.
I am at the Jim McDean on all the social medias. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. Find us, online.